Welcome to Bahía Blanca, a city I got here on an overnight bus this morning after a 12-hour journey from Rosario, and I've come to the hostel and straight away it's all locked up, and I've been here for about half an hour. There is a lock. Now most hostels you go to around the world, they're 24/7. They're open for people who are staying there, for people who want to get out and about. Nothing. So I booked it through booking.com. I've been online to message the owner to say, I've arrived, can I go in, drop my bags off? And so far I've had nothing. The street looks quite nice. There's a big supermarket straight across the road. And the journey down here cost me 93,200 Argentinian pesos. When I got to the bus station, it was the last seat. And overnight buses or the big buses, you'll either get two types of seats, which is semi-karma, which is just a recliner seat, or a karma, which is fully reclined, treated like a bed. And I got a karma seat. And I actually slept quite well all the way. So what do? As I look at the hostel itself, I mean, there's not one single door open, window open. According to Google Maps, this is an art gallery. And because I've just arrived, I've got about 10% battery left on my phone. Now check-in is not really meant to be till 2 o'clock. But out of all the hostels I've ever been to early, they've always been open. You can see, can I leave my bags here? I can just check, check the area out before check-in. And they go, oh yeah, it's not a problem. But I'm stuck. So bags are there, and I'm a bit don't know what to do. So I keep checking my phone, make sure I've got a message to say we're on our way, but nothing. I feel a complete idiot. So obviously I'm using the eSIM and making it last as long as I can. I'm actually inside the property, outside though. So I turn all apps off except if I need to use it, just to make the eSIM last the longer time that I'm in Argentina. So I switched on WhatsApp just now, just to send them a message through WhatsApp instead of book.com. And then a message came through to say, these are the videos to how to get into the property. So the lock wasn't even on. I just walked in. Look. So there's a video to show you how to open the box, which is in there, to get the key to go in there. However, on the video itself, the number they give you is not the right one. So I have WhatsApped them again. I'm now down to I think 5% battery on my phone. I'm just waiting for them to reply to give me the right number so I can go in. It's all very exciting. It's all part of the adventure. It's all part of being a backpacker, I guess. And I'm in. Oh my God. So just drop the stuff off. I'm just gonna have a quick look around. So the video was showing you where the room is. That was a bit of a shock seeing that lady. I wasn't expecting anybody to be here, especially as been ringing the bell for the last 45 minutes. So this is the garden. The room upstairs is quite nice. There's somebody else that lives here, but he's at work at the moment. So basically I'm just gonna chill for a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of work before I go out and see the sights. The lady brought me out here to tell me that she is an artist, so all these things here is what she's made, and tomorrow she's got an exhibition going on. Things like that flower, oh, that bird up there. There's another one over here, and she's just trying to tell me if I'm staying that maybe I could do some filming, because she saw my microphone and went, oh, YouTube, come and film me. I don't know how long I'm staying here for, so I've booked one night. So what I'm going to do now is sort myself out, and then let's go and see the sea. So I've left the hostel behind and I've come out to the city centre, only a couple of blocks away, and I'm only here for one night only, and that is only because the hostel, which is the cheapest in the city, is £18 a night. A little bit over my budget, and I'm always interested to find out why a city, a town is where it is, what's the story behind. And way back when Argentina had gained its independence, I was pushed further down south to claim the land. This was all indigenous land, so they built a fortress here to protect the colonists, and basically it started becoming a small town and then became a city. And that was because in the background outside is the pampas, which is fertile land. Oh wow, you go in there, and with the fertile land they could grow grain, wheat, and from that they needed to export it, and that's when the British came along. Right, so cross over quickly. So the British companies came along and built railways so they could get all the grain, all the wheat across to the ports that had been built. And at one point there was 5 railway stations in this city. Right, I need to find out the name of this park. So this is Plaza Rivadavia, and it's quite big. Lots of people hanging around. What time is it now? Just after 1:30 in the afternoon. So because of the railway, this city started becoming rich. And with money brings statues like that. Now, the bus as it came in this morning, obviously it was only at 7 o'clock, as people are still waking up. It's when I started finding out that it's a clean place. The streets are wide, the avenues. So that is Rivadavia. I guess it's the name of that guy there. Thought I recognised his name. So he was the first Argentinian president, and there's loads of squares and streets around the country that has his name. But what I didn't know was he took a massive foreign loan from Britain to sort of modernise Argentina, which wasn't really that popular. And then he made Buenos Aires the capital, which again didn't make other places around Argentina very happy. that he eventually resigned and went to exile. But when you look around, there's so many old government buildings. Beautiful. And I've got the perfect weather. So the main reason I did come to Bahía Blanca was going down into Patagonia. I saw how far it was by bus that I just wanted to break it up a little bit. And this is the gateway into Patagonia. And I am just going to head over to where that big building over there is. As I'm heading there, Spider-Man's walking around. Must be his holidays. So right in front of me I've got the Banco de la Provincia de Buenos Aires. But look at the top. Wow, that is impressive. So that is actually the town hall. Now, because the city is not a tourist place, and I'll admit it's not, this is more an industrial working city. But what I've read about the city is the inhabitants are quite proud of Bahía Blanca. I also found out that a high number of basketball players that play for the country come from the city. Spider-Man's quite busy. I think he's just going around making money from photographs. Maybe that's what I should do. Dress up as Spider-Man. I've got the physique. All around the park in the city I've seen a few of these historical reference points, and this one with a big arrow is pointing straight to the cathedral. So basically I've used Google Translate. The house of God, ordered to be built by the commander of the campaign, Juan Manuel de Rosas, on the 22nd of February 1834. So the military chaplain went ahead, built it, and the first mass was celebrated on the 7th of August 1835. So basically a year to build it. That would take a lot of blokes to do that. Now the doors are locked, so I'm not going to try and get in. Wow. So this is the heart of the city. Well, you can tell because they've got the cathedral, the town hall on the other side. And already I'm getting the feeling that it's not as crazy busy as Buenos Aires or Rosario. It's just a nice, quiet city. If the hostel wasn't as expensive, then I'll probably stay here for a bit longer. Only because the lady in the hostel, when she was looking at the map, was telling me places to go to, and there is a lot to see. And that's another bank from the olden days. So it must have been a rich place. Before I go on, there's lots of statues in this park, but this one is quirky. I do like that. It's a face in a hand made out of an old tree trunk. I do like that. Away from the plaza, you've got the rest of the city centre, which looks very modern. I moved a few blocks down and I'm here at the Bahía Blanca South railway station, one of the major railway stations of the city, built in the 1880s, and it actually got restored in 2009, and then in 2014 it was declared a national historical monument by the Argentinian government. And up to 2022 it was still being used by a line that was straight to Buenos Aires. Unfortunately, there was a train that was derailed, and since then there has been no further trains coming up this way, which is a shame, because you can see all the glass in the windows have all been smashed, and even the clock that had been restored has been broken. Now just over here is some old trains, but I might have a quick look in to see if I can. Yeah, you can't get in. And even when you look on the train lines themselves, you can see the grass growing. Just seeing this gate, put the camera through, and yeah, you can see that's just being left. These are old trains. Cool. And that was Bahía Blanca, the basketball capital of Argentina, where the British came and helped build it up with railway and even the street names. If you can just see that there, O'Higgins, and there's plenty of other street names around here. But I'm going to head back to the hostel. I've been around for about 3 hours walking. I have admin to do, a lot of admin, including where am I going to find the money to pay for the bus from last night and the hostel. But if you've enjoyed this little trip around for my one night stay in the city, then press that like button. If you want to see where I'm going next, because I need to work that one out as well, then subscribe. But until the next time, bye bye for now.